Good morning, Mrs. Murder here. Looking behind me, you can see all four of Robert Gilbraith's first four mysteries. Call them a mystery. They aren't a mystery anymore. If you read them, you'll find out the solution to the problem is always somewhere. But after this review is going to be about the third book, which is Career of Evil. And it made me consider something that I hadn't thought of before in quite the same way. That evil is not a conscious choice. In this book at least, there are people who are so steeped in evil thoughts and evil actions and evil deeds that they can make no other choice in any given situation, and it's rather disturbing in that regard. But this is the third book, and I think it's a lot of a relief after the second book. The second book got a little gruesome, but this one is traveling all over, getting all kinds of help, and we're set up with Strike is finding that he's losing his paying customers and having problems with money, always. Robin at least can drive, so she drives him places, because even though he could drive if he had use of both legs, that one leg keeps him from being able to drive very much, having that stump for one leg from the knee down from his old injury. And we hear about it constantly, and how a detective can walk as much as he can walk all over the place. I mean, all of the sleuthing and all of the discovery work is done on foot, and if he takes cabs, then he is stressed about the money that it's costing him. So it's always in the back of your mind that he has this problem. And I've always said, if you've watched any of my previous interviews, I don't like my protagonist, my detective, to be injured, suffer injury, to be beaten up or anything like that. And he does provide a large figure for a lot of other large figures to try to take advantage of. In this regard, Robin, his assistant, who's still trying to be a detective and learn everything she can from him, is doing as much as she can, but she's kind of distracted because she's supposed to be getting married to Matthew, and that wedding is on again, off again, and her mother's coming to visit and driving her crazy. So she isn't totally focused on her job in this regard. The book starts out with Robin receiving a package in the mail, and she takes the mail in, and it's a severed leg. They call the police. They have it checked out at the, by the, they have it checked out and find out who it belonged to, the female that it belonged to, someone who's been missing, and thus the story begins. She does receive other body parts at different times through the mail, and becomes very disturbed, and has sighted a large man with a black hat following her. And so Strike is trying to get her to go stay at her fiance's house, go to her mother's house, go stay away from the office. So he has very little assistance there with her coverage, and she gets her feelings hurt because she thought she was a partner and she should be able to do everything. But he has to travel all different kinds of neighborhoods searching for, he thinks he has 4 leads to who this might be, who would send this to Robin, and he thinks it was sent to him but put with her name on it instead of with his. So he gives the leads to the police department, and they are kind of following up. And eventually they want Strike to leave it completely alone. They want to handle it all themselves. And so he gets upset by that because it was his idea. But he follows up on these leads and these men that he has suspected from way back in military days, or back from actually his stepfather, who was brutal, and they are evil. They are evil. They do not know how to behave any other way in society, and their wickedness is directed towards women, which I didn't appreciate, but it is a problem. In some, brings you back to thinking about Jack the Ripper in London, and they travel all over London trying to track people down outside of London, and you're going to find this an intriguing mystery to follow. You are going to be fascinated, and you'll never guess. You will. I had no entire clue when I got to the revelation, as we call it, at the towards the very end of the book. No entire clue. All the deviousness and deception and everything that was going on. Oh my goodness. Pick up this book and read it. I love reading in order, and so you'll notice the next book in this order, from Cuckoo's Calling to Silkworm. There it is, Career in Evil, and it's evil. And then the next one will be White, Lethal White, and it's a nice white colored cover, so maybe it won't be quite as dark. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see in the next book. I haven't even started it yet. I'm being good about getting this recording up before I start the next book, but I'm starting it now. Read this book, and I'll check in with you later. For Mrs. Murder, have a nice morning. Bye.